Welcome to Friday Friends, RI Elder Info's weekly look at the organizations and individuals providing resources for Rhode Island seniors, caregivers, and professionals.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Good Friday. Happy towards the end of Passover. Welcome, everyone. For those of you who are just tuning in for the first time this week, this is Friday Friends, and I am Deb Burton, the founder and creator of RI Elder Info and rielderinfo.com. It's the most comprehensive resource for seniors, caregivers, and the professionals who serve them. We are a nonprofit located here in Rhode Island, and we could not do the work that we do if it weren't for our sponsors and our donors. So I want to give a shout out to Oak Street Health. They have a full comprehensive suite of medical providers. They even provide transportation to their locations. They have a spot in Warwick in the Stop and Shop Christmas Tree Plaza. They have a spot in Providence across from the old St. Joe's Hospital, another one over on Branch Avenue, and another office in Woonsocket. We also have Tamarisk Assisted Living. They're an awesome small assisted living facility in Warwick, easy on and off the highway, right over by the mall. They give you a real home-like environment for your loved one. They provide a full scope of services in the assisted living realm, including memory care if you have a loved one who has dementia. We also have D&B Media, who works behind the scenes for this, and England Studio, who provides a lot of the graphics that probably brought to your attention that this was taking place today. So certainly couldn't do it without them. We've had some generous donors in this past week or so, and I wanted to give a shout out to the Care Concierge. Paul is an amazing guy who can help you find a facility that best meets your needs. Loisel Insurance. We had an awesome event last week, Calling All Women Warriors. That wouldn't have been possible without the support of Raytheon Technologies and Cross Country Mortgage. So the donations that you might make really do make a difference in people's lives. We are reaching thousands of people every week, and we are very grateful for that. But here's the thing. There are more people who need to know about what we talk about every week. So it's really important, and I really need your help. I need you to hit the follow button and the share button and share this out to all of your friends, the groups that you're in, because I promise you there are people out there who need the information that gets provided on Friday Friends. And if you find it helpful and you want to make a donation, that would be cool. Even $1. Every little bit counts. It all goes back towards supporting the members in our community with the information that they need. So today's guest, I'm very excited to talk to. Tai Bacani from Sage RI is going to come on board and explain what Sage is, what they do, and why it's important. Welcome, Tai.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining me. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is very exciting. This is such a great program.
Yeah, can you share with our viewers, what is Sage Rhode Island? Even what does Sage stand for? RI, I think they know Rhode Island.
Okay, so Sage Rhode Island, our focus is on older LGBT people. Sage stands for Senior Action in a Gay Environment. Okay. So our focus is on education, advocacy, and social engagement.
So what does that look like, advocacy and social engagement? What's the do in there?
So advocacy, we really partner with other groups too. There's GLAAD, there's LGBT Action Group, and there's AARP. The big hot topic right now is public bathrooms, that we want non-gender specific bathrooms, not only for LGBT people, but it's really for many, many people across the board, people with physical difficulties, people, single parents with children, but then our trans people feel more comfortable being able to go into a bathroom that's not gender specific.
That makes sense. So, I think a lot of times that gets to be like a real buzz about, oh my gosh, anybody could be in the bathroom. But the reality is there's a lot of folks who really do need to have a universal bathroom, because if you think about, if I were, say, taking an uncle or something like a gentleman into the bathroom to help him because he's older and he needs assistance, well, I'm not there with some kind of crazy nefarious purpose. I have a real purpose that requires a bathroom. And so I think people have this preconceived notion about what a universal bathroom is, but dear Lord, it's a toilet.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because it sounds like a really big ask, but really it's signage. It's really just changing a sign on a single stall bathroom that says everybody's welcome.
Exactly. So, if I'm going into the bathroom with my grandson, he's got to come in with me. He's little. He's got to come in with me. I can't leave him, sitting in the middle of Providence Place Mall while I run to the bathroom. And I don't want to send him into the men's bathroom by himself, because Lord knows where the soap might end up. Be a bubble fest going on. So you're right. And I think it's one of those things that people read into it far more than they really need to. Just change the sign and let people do the business and get out.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because you go home and there's no special bathroom for anybody at home. Everybody.
Exactly.
So. Yes,
exactly. But, some people get really flustered about these things. So what other kinds of things is Sage working on?
So one of our big programs right now is the Sage Zoom Cafe, which it's so interesting what comes out of COVID, like the good stuff and the bad stuff.
Yeah.
But so we used to be once a month in person, and we would have served lunches for older LGBT people. And we found that once COVID hit, there was a real big issue for social interaction. So we decided, instead of going monthly, to go weekly. And it's evolved into a weekly, about an hour program, and 20 minutes to an hour of it, we have a special guest. Thank you so much. And Deb's come, and thank you so much. You're such an excellent speaker. It's true. We got so many positive comments after you came and spoke, and so informative.
Oh, my head's getting bigger. I just enjoy what I do.
Yeah, but you do such a great job. So we, every Thursday at noon, we meet, and we'll have a different speaker that comes and talks about different other LGBT organizations or other organizations that help with older people. We've had people just come and talk about their different programs going on, whether it be entertainment or musical or whatever people want other people to get involved with. And then we'll have a few minutes of a touch base that we can really say, like, how are you doing today? Anything you want to talk about? So it's been a really great program. And it blows my mind that it's almost been a year already that we've been doing this. And we've been very fortunate to have a speaker almost every week. So it's a lot of speakers.
I understand that really well. It's a lot, and it's a lot to keep up and manage. And why do you think that this has worked so well for the last year? Do you think our older LGBT community members maybe feel a little more isolated during COVID?
For sure. And it's yes. So it's interesting because I live like kind of a double life. So I go into these Zoom cafes, and most people that go to them like will barely leave their house and maybe go get groceries at that 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. time, and it's really their big interaction for the week. But then like I'm kind of like doing my job, like I do real estate and acting too. So I'm still interacting with people in person, but it's interesting to see the different ends of the spectrum with that. But for sure, older people, and then specifically LGBT people, because they tend to live alone a lot more. And so they're home alone and can't really go out right now. but it's so nice to get everybody together and just chit chat and,
And I think, you bring up a really important point. For many of our older LGBT community members, they weren't legally allowed to be married. Many didn't have children. Mm-hmm. And so they are more often aging alone. Unfortunately, many families were not accepting. And so they don't even have the support of their families. So I think, what SAGE provides as a sense of community is so critically important, because we don't have the general public, people who are not members of the LGBT community. We may not realize how much of a barrier it can be when you can't, or how, I don't even know if barrier is the right word, but how painful it could be that you don't feel comfortable to just reach out and hold your partner's hand, or to just, give them a kiss hello. And yet many of our older individuals, that was their experience. And now they're aging alone without the support of the partner, the spouse's extended family, that kind of thing. So, I think the Sage Cafe and what you guys are doing truly makes a huge difference. I think it's really important. So I think one of the things that we talked about briefly before we came on air, for those folks who work with older adults, what is the proper lettering? We were talking about LGBTQIA, LGBTQ, LGBT plus. What are the proper respectful letters to use?
So we use LGBT because the Q for older people can be very triggering and have a very strong emotional effect to it. And this is one of the reasons why we do so much in education. We're very lucky to have a board that's amazing for education and social work. And we do a lot of workshops and lunch and learns. And there's a video called Gen Silent that I can talk about later that we show that's hugely impactful to see. But it's interesting because the lettering is ever evolving. But so for us, we use LGBT, we don't use the Q, but then a lot of younger people like to identify as queer. So it's kind of something, just one of those things to keep in mind when talking to older people, older LGBT people, that there are triggering verbiage. But it's always a good discussion to have too, to get to know people and
see the individual.
Yeah. And that's really what it comes down to, is everybody's different and special, and we try to take care of our people.
Absolutely. And to see the individual, I think that's really the most important thing. So you hit on a little topic that I have experienced, and it is absolutely amazing. Can you share with the viewers what Gen Silent is?
Yes. So Gen Silent is this documentary that was filmed mostly in Boston. And it follows these 4 couples later in life, and they're all LGBT. And it talks about the decisions they have to make with healthcare, with moving into assisted living, there's one transgender person that was, when she came out, she was disowned by her family. So she was going through a lot of her own, but she had a family of choice. People that she chose to be her family that were taking care of her. And it's very awakening and very emotionally connecting. And when we show it, we have to have part of our deal with the creators of it is that we have to have a discussion after. But it's definitely one of those things that everybody should see. And have a discussion about, because we've done quite a few workshops and showings with people that work with older LGBT, and it's awakening. Absolutely.
And I recommend that movie to anybody. It really shows also the power of love. And it is Yeah, you want to bring a tissue.
You actually have to do that disclaimer at the beginning that, there's a lot of emotions that come up.
Yeah.
And it's okay if you need to step away for a second, but we're there and we're going to talk about it at the end.
Yeah, it is amazing. So will you guys be, I know, because of COVID, you can't really gather people to watch it. I had the ability to see this a couple of years ago at the Warwick Library. Would you guys be offering like a virtual presentation? I don't know if like people could, I'm thinking like buy virtual tickets, or like I see concerts happen that way.
Yeah, we're able to show it through Zoom. We've done it a few times with different organizations. We're working with the senior center groups in Rhode Island right now. So we have a couple planned with them. But definitely if people want to reach out, and we could do a showing with some conversation after.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah. Because I think it's something that people should see.
It is. It is. And I've been around, oh gosh, I've been with Sage a little more than 4 years now. I've started off as a volunteer doing the cafes, and now I'm on the board. But it's interesting to see it shown to different groups of people, because we've done people just from within our groups. We've done people that work with older LGBT people. And I always think the best ones are when we have a little bit of everybody, because there's so many different perspectives coming in and so much great conversation going on that it's really cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's important to engage everybody in these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And, I just something, and this wasn't even something I was planning to even ask you. And I know Sage works specifically with older adults, but I saw some statistics that individuals who are teenagers who are a member of the LGBT community are more likely to commit suicide. And, I think you mentioned that you guys do work with another program for younger individuals.
Yeah. Unfortunately, social media can be good and bad. And with all that bullying going on, and unfortunately with all the social media, I always feel like people are a little bit more isolated because of it. It's kind of a facade that you're interacting with people, but really you're by yourself with a computer or your phone, living on your phone, But we do, when we do programming, when we do our programming, we like to do a lot of intergenerational things. So pre-COVID, and we're working on how to do it via Zoom, we did a lot of dinners that we would invite Youth Pride to. We are connected with Renaissance City Softball League, which is an LGBT softball league in Rhode Island. There's a flag football league. And the Imperial Court of Rhode Island is amazing. They're a really cool group to check out. They're kind of the royalty drag queens of Rhode Island, and it's a national thing also. So they work with us a lot on social interactions and intergenerational work. So yeah, we do a lot of great things, and it's really part of our goal is to connect different people all together that you might not necessarily see in the same room, Zoom room trainings.
Right. And I bring up the younger population because the people who watch are all ages, all professionals, but it could be a grandparent who has a grandchild who has come out, and they're really not sure because their life experience, they never had any interactions, and maybe they don't know what to do or how to engage with the child, and they feel a little weird or awkward or all those things when you're experiencing something new and different. And so when you are the straight grandparent and you're trying to figure out what to do, how to be respectful, how to engage and interact with your grandchild or your child's friends and partners, is that something that Sage can help have those conversations?
Yeah, we're always, everybody's welcome of all ages and anything. We're open to everybody. There's also PFLAG that's out there too. And that's a group that's specifically geared towards people with children and grandchildren that are LGBT. And then Youth Pride is amazing. They are just a machine, and they're like the machine with the biggest heart ever. It's like how I look at them. Like their programs are amazing for children. They're protective over their children, that they're amazing. So if anybody has children, I think they go up to, I think 20. They go a little bit older than you would think.
Awesome.
They're a really cool group to get to. And of course we love having conversations with people and how we can help, and
Yep.
Anything to make people's lives better.
Yeah. And, I think sometimes it's just having an open space to ask questions without, like I've interacted with you, and I believe that you understand, like, I don't hold any prejudice or anything like that. But sometimes I have questions because I don't want to be disrespectful. And we have that kind of, you and I can have that conversation and know that if I'm not saying something right, it's not something deliberate. So one of the things that I see come up, for example, your name next to you, you have she, her, hers. I see that more often in a lot of email signature lines, things like that. For our viewers, when they encounter an individual, when they're not sure what the proper pronoun is to use, what is the right thing to do?
Oh, that's a very tough one.
Sorry.
So let me just say a couple things first, because you're bringing up ideas. So the Sage Cafe is really nice, and we have conversations about this a lot, about recording, because we do have different speakers come every week. And we make it a thing not to record our Sage Cafes, even though there's great information coming out of there, but we do want it to be a safe place. And we do want people to be able to ask whatever questions they want without them be able to show up and not feel like they're being watched.
Yeah.
So we do separate programming that we record, like the workshops and lunch and learns. And we actually started doing LGBT history interviews, which are so cool. I get to do interviews with people that have lived these amazing lives.
That sounds awesome.
Oh my God, it's so cool. I've met the coolest people ever. And they talk about their life in Rhode Island. There's such rich history in Rhode Island. It's so cool. It's funny because like I talk to people, and like a lot of people from surrounding states, like in the 70s and 60s would come to Rhode Island because that's where a lot of the LGBT stuff was going on, and the fun stuff and feeling safe. And it's a lot of cool interviews. They're all on YouTube. We have a Sage YouTube channel that some of our workshops and the interviews are on. So if anybody
I did not realize that. Okay.
Yeah, it's really cool. Oh wait, I think I went on a little tangent. What was
when you encounter an individual and you're not sure what pronouns to use, what's the right thing to do?
Yeah, so for the most part, you want to use the pronouns from what they appear. So if you look feminine, you want to use she, her, hers. If you look masculine, you want to use he, his,
Him. Yep.
And then, if you can have a conversation with people too and just ask them. You don't want to go up to a stranger on the side of the street and say,
None of my business.
Pronouns, right? if you're engaged in a conversation and you're kind, then it's okay. The nice thing about, so we're part of this too, is we are working on a grant to help assisted living facilities, and we're putting a package together that there can be a go-to person there that's like the expert, and then they can kind of train the facility, and then we're the support system behind that. And in that packet, we're putting some like rainbow stickers and some materials, some same-sex couple pictures, some stuff like that. And the pronouns are nice because they're kind of a subtle hint that it's a safe space.
Yeah. Do
you know what I mean? So without being like hugely like everybody can come here, it's just like, like I get it. We can have conversations, and this is a safe space for us to talk.
I like that. I like that a lot. So Tai, is Sage Rhode Island, is it a nonprofit?
Yes. We're a completely volunteer run nonprofit. We've been incorporated since 97, but we've been around since 94-ish.
Wow.
Yeah, we've been around for a while and gone through some different changes. But it's such a great organization to work with, and I learn something new every day and get to meet great people. So
That's awesome. So if our viewers wanted to support Sage,
mhm.
what would be helpful? Do you need volunteers? Do you need donations? Do you need speakers? Do you just need money, grants?
Yeah, a little bit of everything's always great. We always love money. Right now, we are working on expanding our board. So if people are interested in volunteering or being on the board, that would be wonderful. We are always open to training anybody and everybody. We love doing trainings. We are working on our training calendar right now on what works for other people. And we are also soon to do a membership drive. So in our membership, it always blows me away how inexpensive our membership is. It's only $20 for an individual and $40 for a couple, which
Wow.
is like nothing. So,
Yeah.
right?
You can't go through the McDonald's drive-through and
Right.
get out without 20 bucks out of your pocket.
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to out McDonald's.
But it's like you can get a meal for.
Yeah, you barely getting a pizza, So yeah, 20 bucks, not an issue. There is a program. Catherine Jardine popped in, and I know that she is actually reaching out from, I think it's Washington or Oregon. They're doing a study with seniors with memory loss and their caregivers who are members of the LGBT community. And it's the ageidea.org. The organization is actually, or the university is actually one of the leaders in this type of research. So I vetted them first to make sure that we didn't have any trolls sending weird stuff into the chat. But that actually, I just wanted to call attention to Catherine's post, because that is something that they are working on doing, is working with individuals in the community who are caregivers for someone with dementia. They're doing real research. It's a real project. I actually called to make sure.
Yes, we're supporting that also. We, in conjunction with our Zoom cafes, we do a newsletter that we have people put like a blurb of their info, but for the rest of the world out there, our newsletter has a blurb from different speakers that come and how to contact them. And then we'll throw up information like that too, like about what's going on with the COVID vaccines, and different surveys from that we think make sense. So If anybody wants to be on our email list too for the newsletter,
awesome.
Also welcome.
All right. And they can access the newsletter list right on the sageri.com.
Our website's a little hokey. The easiest thing to do is email us at sageriinfo@gmail.com, and we can put people on the email list.
Yep.
And then our Facebook is really good too. If people want to like our Facebook group, that's really we like to partner with a lot of different groups. So that's a lot of Sage, but then a lot of what's going on in Rhode Island from different groups too that we like to share.
Exactly. Good morning, Christine. Christine Andrews just popped in, said good morning. And yeah, I was looking at your website and I was thinking, like, during COVID, sometimes it's so hard to get technology updated and all of that. So it's good to know that you have the Facebook page, which means for my viewers, if you're watching us now on Facebook, you can go to Sage's Facebook page.
Yes, and it's Sage, I think /Rhode Island spelled out.
Okay. And are there, because this, we are on the World Wide Web, are there other Sage or Sage type programs in other states? So if somebody's someplace else, they might be able to get the support they need?
Yeah. Actually, there's a Sage National that we're affiliated with. And there's I want to say 20 something Sages around the country. For us, the next closest are Maine, New York, New Jersey.
Okay.
But there's one in like Puerto Rico, there's Alaska, Nevada. I've gone to national conferences, and there's a lot of really, really cool people from across the country that run Sages and do
awesome
work. Yeah, it's really cool. It's my favorite was talking to the Alaska people about one of the ladies was like, yeah, I was gardening. And then I looked at my watch and it was 2:00 in the morning because the sun didn't set. And she's just gardening away. And all of a sudden, 2 in the morning.
Wow.
But it was daytime for her.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, totally different experience. Totally different experience. And part of the magic of Ben and D&B Media in the background of this is he has already dropped a link to the Sage Facebook in the chat.
Thank you so much.
So people can do
Thank
that.
you, Brock.
Yeah. Yes, he is amazing backstage. So Tai, any final thoughts that you'd like to share with the group?
No, I mean, we love participation. So whoever you are, whatever you do, just come hang out with us at a cafe or come sign up for our emails. And hopefully soon we'll be able to get together again and start doing. We had a lot of stuff planned between dances and dinners and everything but we grow, we learn, and we're working on how to do it in a little bit different way.
Absolutely. And you know what? The positive that has come out of it is, I think through technology, we've been able to reach more people that we would not have reached otherwise.
It's true. And we plan on, even if we do go back to doing in-person things, that we're going to do a hybrid, that people will be able to join us.
Me too.
Zoom too. So yeah.
Tai, thank you so much for coming on today. I really enjoyed this. I've learned a lot. I hope my viewers have learned a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And please, everybody, feel free to reach out.
Yes, absolutely. Well, everybody, as you can see, lots of really good resources, a lot of very good educational information shared today. I've definitely learned a lot. I hope you have too. I really hope that you have hit the like button and that you're following RI Elder Info and that you share this information out, because I guarantee there's somebody that you know who needs the information that was presented here today. And again, there is that research study that is in the comments section. Catherine Jardine pointed out. It's called the Age Idea and ageidea.org. It is a research study that's being conducted. It's a legitimate research study. It's not kind of like anything crazy happening. And they are looking for older adults with memory loss and their caregivers who are members of the LGBT community. So the link to that is right over in the chat box. So if you are someone who fits that description, please feel free to check that out. But I thank you all for joining us today. I look forward to seeing you all next week. Happy Passover and happy Easter. Have a great day. Thank you.
If you liked this video, please follow us on social media and subscribe on YouTube. For more information, visit rielderinfo.com or call 401-585-0509. If you have any questions, email deb@rielderinfo.com.